more now with our skelly bobs. So what we're going to do, well, as you can see, these have dried up rather nicely. It's got a nice weathered effect to the robes. We are going to be going over the back of these robes again in the same red, but we're not going to. We might add a little bit of the black. I don't know yet. It's not decided. We can always make our minds up a little later. Also, you can see our paints all seem to have run into one, so let's get some more out. And for this we're using Abaddon Black. Quick wash. And before we do anything with the skeletons, let's go around the edge of the door. Make sure that this is all black before we go around again with our highlight colours. We're applying this as usual quite thinly, very watered down paint. I don't see why we can't use these doors and stuff in Castle Ravenloft games. Alright. And to finish off, what we need to do is get some more black paint on our palette. As we need to do the base as well. Trying to keep away from the doors for the time being. We are going to be going on the doors a small amount with black. That's just for the hinges, the hinge bracket, and the decorated stuff under. But that's we're going to have to highlight the door first before we can do that, and we'll not be doing that for a few minutes yet. So I just want to make sure that these are fully dry, because I will be doing the highlighting of the door and then I'll highlight the brickwork. or the stonework rather, and then once that's done I'll come back and add the and paint in the brackets, or the hinges, the hinges and the brackets. We have the brackets for the door locking mechanism, haven't we? Okay, so that's that for the door. Almost. There's a little bit there that I've missed on the corner of the keystone there. Oh dear. Right, just add a little touch of water. In fact, no, I'm not going to brush out. I'm not doing what I was going to do then. Changed my mind. Because what I want to do is using a little bit of the dryad bark. Just the palette once more. I'm going to paint in the shaft of the scythe. Like so. Forgetting this bit. There we go. One down, two to go. There we go. It's not going to take too long to do these three sconces. They're nearly finished now, to be honest. Oops, there's nothing much to add to it. Just a little bit of highlighting here and there. And they are done. That's another one almost complete, and finally number 3. Now we're just going to add a little bit of a highlight to this. We're not going overboard with the with this. It's just a little bit of what do you call it? A little bit of highlighting is all we need to do. And almost done. That's those 3 done. Next, what I want to do is using Ushabti bone, which is this colour. I'm going to just get a little on a dry brush. For the dry brush I'm using the Citadel small dry brush, and it's just a case of get some on the brush, scrape it off and dab it off. Right. And try and get your brush looking a bit scabby like that, and then just and that's all we need for the skeleton. And a little bit more for this fella. In fact, it's not actually showing up at all. So that's on now. Okay, it's not showing up very well. I'm just going to move the camera down a spot. I just noticed I have missed a little bit with the dryad bark, so I'm going to go over that now. Missed the handle. On this. There we go. And next what I'm going to be using is a Runefang steel, if I can find it. Yep. Put that away. And a bit of Runefang steel. Give it a good shake. And I'm going to use the bigger brush. I'm using the bigger brush. It's not quite shaken enough. Oh, everything's settled at the bottom of the pot. Okay, so we have a bit of brush, and all we're doing is just that. I don't want a big dramatic colour, it's just some downward strokes all across the blade, very lightly. And leave some of the base coats showing through. There we go. And finally, as I said, I'm going to mix, I'll do a little bit of a highlight for the, oh dear God, what's it called? The, my brain switched off again. Yeah, the shaft of the scythe. I'm going to be using a little bit of Screaming Skull mixed in with the dryad bark. just to lighten it a little bit. We don't want a lot. And all we're going to do for that is just a quick I've mixed way too much for what we need. Never mind. Hopefully we might come in for something else a little later. In fact, I know it will. Okay, so that's that for those. Now what I want to do is go over to these. Now, first of all, we're going to be going back over some of the washes and using our Agrax Earthshade. I forgot to do the outside of this shield, so we'll do that now. But I also want to do the inside again. I want to build up the colour from this wash. There we go. That's one done. There's another. Right, I know you're not going to get a really strong colour, but for these shields I'm not looking for a really strong colour. I'm looking for a fairly muted, pale-ish colour. And that is what a wash is going to give. So that's okay for the brown. Next I want to go over again with the red, the crimson and the black wash. Crimson and a non-oil wash. So I'll put those here. Crimson and non-oil. I'm not going on the inside of this, I'm going on the outside. I'm going to do the whole of the red cloak. And then I'm going to add some black. There's one done. I shall there we go. And that is, I'm not going to do the whole cloak on this one, I've decided, because I think I made a mess with the last one. I'm going to bring the black up to meet the red. Like so. And now, finally, this fella. And once again, go. And that's not the only part where we're going to be giving a wash on those. Using Kill Your Green shade, we're going to be washing the trousers. Because yes, these do seem to be wearing trousers, so I'm going to give them a wash with this Kill Your Green shade. Trying to be careful where I pull it because there is a lot of rips. There will be areas where I will have to come back and start painting rather than washing on these, because there's a belt here which I've just gone over with the green. That we can sort out later on. And I've gone over the top of the boots with the green there, but it doesn't matter. And once again, I don't bother with colour theory when it comes down to painting fantasy stuff. You know, they say red and green shouldn't go together because goes to the opposite ends of the spectrum. Green is the anti-red, or red is the anti-green, one or the other. I'll do this again with the boot. It doesn't matter, it doesn't really matter at all. So these are gaming figures doing whatever colour you want to do. If you want to do the trousers pink with bright orange dots, do them pink with bright orange dots. Have a bit of fun when you're painting. Have as much fun with your painting as you do with your gaming. As I said before, this is my hobby. The gaming side of it is just another bonus. There we go. And that's that one done. Now then, the door is now dried. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a colour called, you may have noticed this one before, the Fang, and put it to one side because that's not the one I want. This is the one I want. Scrag Brown. I'm doing the door first. So I'll put some of this, in fact, put that down, put some on the palette. And I'll add a little bit of this colour. In fact, I'll add all that colour into it. There. And just go down. I'm not looking to fill. I'm just going to try and do this like so. It's there isn't the wood beams on this are flat, so by doing this it gives a look of grain. And it's straight down the door. There we are. Like so. And there's our door. But the wood beam here, you can do something very similar. There we go. Next, we're going to be going into the black. And using the steadiest of hands that we can get. And finally the brackets for the locking bar. Has anybody any idea what this piece of wood is called? I know I know it, but I just cannot remember off the top of my head. Yeah. And finally here. Just like so. And that is that. So, what is my plan for this? Well, using a spot of Rune Lord brass, fill is going to just go over certain areas here. Better. Anyway, using the spotter, I'm going to move that beside me because I don't like it where it is. Using the spotter that Unlight brass, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go different little areas of it. Like so. Yes, I know it's still not showing up to any great extent, but once I've got this on I will be highlighting it. This is just touching it here and there. Rotating does rust, doesn't it? Just a query. Now, Runefang steel. If I can keep hold of it. And with this, just doing a few little spots again here and there, just to what I'm planning on is having some very rusty hinges. So I'm hoping that rotating rusts. I have a feeling it does. Because I have a feeling it's the rotating hinges that do all the creaking in the old movies. They wouldn't do that if they didn't rust, would they? Right, so using a larger brush this time, I'm going to be using a monster brush. In fact, no I'm not, so I've changed my mind. I'm going to be using the dry brush again. But the dry brush I'm using is the larger one, which is a medium dry brush. Got a few more bristles to contend with. And using the fang, which I dug out earlier. Ta-da! Straight from I don't think we've any of the fang left. Oh, that is still not good. So what we're going to do instead is mix some. So I want some Calidor Sky. some of that scrub brown in it. And I think that is it. Near enough. It will do the job. Wash my dry brush in it and I'll probably go all over the stonework with this shadowy bluey colour. I'm not interested in actually picking out various directions of where light's hitting. This is just a very rough paint job. That's all I'm looking for here. I just don't want any of this going into the crevices. Right, so there we go. Dull down the little bit of brown, and we've got quite a decent looking colour called, well, fairly close to the fang. Okay, so that's the dry brush used for that bit. What I'm going to do now is using some dawnstone. I'm going to use this as more of a stricter dry brush. I'm trying to pick out where the light is going to hit, which is why we're making downward movements with the brush. Right, so. But we're not actually doing much on the inside of the doorway. We're still going to be moving downwards on the edge here. Right, making sure you only go downwards when you're doing this. Do not want to be going upwards because you'll get paint on the bottom edges of the stonework. That's not going to look right. You want it on the top edges. And even at the top here, go down, do not go across. I'm just going to dab in a few areas. Like so. And that's another dry brushy thing out of the way. And then follow that up with a pale shade of grey, which is, whenever I find it, Stratum grey. I'll make sure my brush is incredibly dry for this. And it is again but try your best not to put too much paint on the brush and always go downwards. It is quite easy to get too much paint on your brush, so don't worry if you do. But try your best not to. Don't want all that much down the side edges. And there we are. That is our door almost complete. Just one more dry brush to do. And that is a very, very fine dry brush of pure white, which in this case is white scar. Ta-da! And again, one very, very little amount of paint on the brush. As you can see, I'm putting it on, I'm scraping it off, and I'm going to wipe a bit off on the thingy. And all I'm doing this for is just a little on the edges along the top. And that is all. And there's our door. I enjoyed that. Okay, now can I do anything more with these? I don't think so. So what I'm going to be doing next with these is just doing on the base exactly what I did around the door on that. Paint in black, paint with the bluey grey, and then build up with grey to give it the same effect as that. When we come back, we'll do a few more bits and pieces with these three. Okay, so until next time, as always, take care, God bless.